Alright guys, Rich here from the RC Network, and this is going to be update number 2 on my Proline Pro2 ShortCourse Buggy kit. Went ahead and started installing the rear clip during this episode, and I kind of bounced around a little bit. I decided not to do the shock build yet, was kind of holding off on that because that's something that doesn't really stand in the way of other parts of this. And I went ahead and I installed the servo mount, the Servo Horn and arm, and then also put on those cool Proline Secure Lock body mounts for the buggy kit. There's only 2 on this particular one. On most short course trucks, you'll find that there's 4. So went ahead and I got the rear clip all installed, and I've got to say the parts on this thing are just awesome. From the drive shafts to the kind of included upgrades. I said before in the last installment, they do give you some aluminum anodized locking wheel nuts right there, and also the hexes you can kind of see right there too. Also, they are clamping style. So, trying to get my camera to focus here for us. There we go. Got a nice little Proline logo on those clamping hexes as well. So very, very nice. The CVDs that are included are super nice. They seem to be very well balanced, and they went together very nice. They not only have a set pin, but they also have a little set screw, and then also that silver ring that goes around to just make sure everything is not going to fall apart. So very nice that they have kind of 2 added bonuses of security there. The rear clip went on with no issues at all. A little bit confusing initially because when you get to the steps of it, it actually asks you to remove a back section right here, which is this piece. It asks you to remove this, which is 1 screw, and then 1 other screw that attaches to the motor. But if you just kind of play out the run of everything makes sense. Now, I went ahead and I installed a few screws that not only go through this rear bumper, this kind of narrow bumper, and they kind of go through, this one right here goes through all the way into the motor mount. Bottom one down here goes all the way through the motor mount. And this one was a little bit confusing because it asks to just screw in. This is a 20 millimeter, this is a 16 millimeter, so this screwed in about halfway. But then when I went ahead and reinstalled the motor or the spur gear cover, it makes sense because another screw comes in from the other side, and it all makes sense. So stay tuned kind of when you're building this thing. Everything makes sense in the long run, so there's no confusion. As far as the servo, I went and installed a Savox 1258 TG, kind of my go-to servo for any kind of short course application. Just love that thing. Plenty of torque, 167 inch-ounces, I believe, and 0.08 seconds of response time. So you'll notice there's no servo horn that's included in the kit. I went ahead and this was already actually installed on there. This is a 22 servo horn from TLR or Team Losa Racing. It's kind of my go-to servo horn. Just love that thing as well. They do include the arm and also all the hardware to get it mounted onto the horn. And you'll also notice there's some little blue specks right there. Nice little added features, some aluminum anodized washers that's included in the kit. So, but pretty nice so far. A couple things I did want to mention. In the kit, there's 2 things that are not included that you will need if you start building this thing. One thing is going to be some black grease. For the rear CVDs, I always like to build it up with some black grease just to make sure everything is going to stay nice and smooth. And then also once you start getting into some of the mounting of the motor mount and also the servo mount is aluminum, you do need some thread lock. So make sure you guys have some good thread lock on hand for getting some things installed. So whenever you're going metal to metal, you do want some Loctite. So other things kind of coming up here, I'm going to go ahead and start installing the motor and whatnot. They do include these cool motor washers that are kind of in depth there, and they should be very, very nice. I can't wait to kind of use those things when I install that. motor. So, well, that's it, guys. I will have probably another update here, installing the shocks and a couple other things before I start getting into the electronics. I'm gonna start painting up the body, slap on those pre-glued wheels and tires, those Blockades and those F11s. Can't wait to show you guys. So that's it, guys. If you have any questions about this installment of the Pro2 Short Course Buggy Kit, please post it on down below. And as always, thumbs up and subscribe. That's it for now, guys. Over and out.